On December 11, 1992, Denise Como was found dead after a fire in an abandoned building on Austin Street in Worcester. The cause of her death was strangulation. DNA evidence also was present at that time. On May 19, 1993, a woman was found unconscious in a cardboard box in the Main South area of Worcester. She reported being attacked and sexually assaulted from behind. She could not identify her attacker. A rape test kit was performed, and DNA evidence was also presented and preserved. In 2007, during an upload of DNA into the CODA system by the Mass State Police Crime Lab, and part of the work conducted by the Worcester Police Department, a DNA analysis revealed that the same man's DNA profile was present in the evidence from the autopsy of Ms. Como and from the rape kit of the May 19, 1993 victim. In May 2008, the DA's office sought and received rape and other charges against the John Doe DNA profile for the May 1993 rape. It was the first time in Worcester County that a John Doe DNA profile had been indicted in the Worcester County District Attorney's Office. The indictment was sought in the 1993 rape because the 15-year statute of limitations was about to expire. The indictment was handed up with just a few days to spare. We did not seek a murder indictment at this time because there is no statute with regards to murders. Once the DNA profile was identified by name, the decision was made to continue the murder investigation. Last year, Detectives Dan Sullivan and William Donovan of the Worcester Police Department, particularly their unresolved homicide unit, were reviewing unsolved rape cases from the Main South neighborhood in the 1990s with Worcester Police Detective Maureen Sedlicki. They were particularly interested in cases with facts similar in nature to the facts of Ms. Como's homicide in the May 1993 rape. They found a case with similar facts and found a report with a woman identifying her assailant by name. This rape was reported in 1995, and the woman identified her assailant as James Earl Johnson. This case never went forward due to problems with the victim and her reluctance to pursue her attacker at this time. There was a rape test kit that was also completed, and forensic evidence was preserved, but due to the victim's reluctance at this time to proceed, this was never completed and submitted for review. The detectives then submitted the forensic evidence from the 1995 rape to the Massachusetts State Police Crime Laboratory. The testing showed that the same male DNA profile was present in the 1995 rape, the 1993 rape, and in Ms. Como's homicide. It's what's known within the DNA vernacular as a case-to-case hit. Worcester detectives determined that Mr. Johnson had lived in the Worcester area from the 1970s to 1997. The detectives' hard work led them to Tuskegee, Alabama, where Mr. Johnson had died in 2008. The Worcester DA's office and the Worcester Police then worked with Tuskegee authorities and District Attorney E. Paul Jones of the 5th Judicial Circuit in Alabama to obtain a court order to exhume Johnson's body. The exhumation was made last October. Tissue was taken from his body, was extracted for DNA analysis, and was flown back to Massachusetts. Monday of this week, we learned that the DNA from Mr. Johnson's body matched the DNA preserved from the autopsy of Ms. Como. There was a match, which meant Johnson was responsible for the killing of Ms. Como, and that also meant that Johnson was responsible for the May 1993 rape as well as the September 1995 rape. It was so as the DNA profile from all three cases was one and the same. I want to commend the Worcester Police Detectives, particularly the Unresolved Homicide Unit, for their hard work, the Tuskegee authorities, the State Police Crime Lab, as well as District Attorney E. Paul Jones of the 5th Judicial Circuit in Alabama for their cooperation with regards to this case in bringing this conclusion, these cases to a conclusion and giving some measure of closure to these victims' families.